All right, we're back with it, and me and Juice just can't quit talking about the Marine stuff.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Thunderbird in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Oh my God. So when you hit Jacksonville, they tell you point blank, don't go to the T-Bird.
I think it's not there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there or not. I haven't been there since '93.
I haven't been there in a long time. So,
but yeah, you're not allowed to go to the T-Bird. It's restricted. You know, you can go anywhere else off base. You can go to Toby's, Tar Heel, Dirtwood, any of them.
Tar Heel was fun. So.
You can't go to the T-Bird. And then we were told, oh, people get stabbed there and everything else, and Marines get robbed there. That's not what was going on.
That's where the prostitutes hung out.
That's where all the prostitutes went.
As an SOI private, School of Infantry private, they said don't go to Thunderbirds. So the first weekend we got, where do you think we went?
Oh,
Thunderbirds.
Same thing we did. We went to T-Birds.
They had pretty good chow in there. It was a diner. It was a diner. They had good hamburgers.
Yeah.
I'll forget. It turned into a hotel later. I forget what it was.
Yeah. When I left, Court Street was still bad.
Yeah, we did go down there. Court Street was trashy.
Yeah, we went down there, but we only went down there to get in fights.
Yeah.
And
I never hung out.
Don't go to the T-Bird.
I didn't go to Court Street unless I had to go to court.
Yeah. We'd hang out at Odyssey Tattoo, Toby's, Dirtwood, Tar Heel.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do our shopping at Saigon Sam's.
Yeah, I went there.
You remember that, right?
Well, you'd lose a canteen and have to go get one.
So, or
something stupid.
That's what we were doing, buying stuff that we got an inspection.
Yeah.
Your Kevlar's missing.
Never missing a Kevlar. Canteens, canteen pouch, ammo pouch.
Like magazines.
Yeah.
Oh, and the ever popular tent poles.
Oh, God. You never even use those things.
No, but
you'd lose them.
You had to spray paint them and you had to have them.
Yeah, you'd lay them out.
So. Oh, yeah.
But the Driftwood, you said it's called Platinum now.
Yeah, yeah.
That was one of the more popular strip clubs in Jacksonville.
It was.
When I got there, a lot of Marines are going to be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a plywood sign. The building was half caved in. There was a plywood sign out on the road. They had it propped up with concrete blocks. And they spray painted Driftwood on there.
Yeah.
Now, over the years, my time, they cleaned up the outside. They put a nice sign, made a facade, but the inside was still nasty.
Yeah, it was still the Dirtwood.
It was one of those places where they had carpet, and you walk in and your feet stuck to the carpet.
Yeah, it was squishy. It's like Velcro.
I wonder how much bacteria is in that carpet.
Oh, I don't know. So you got there. When did you get there? 93?
Yeah, or 90, into 93, something like that.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I was leaving there.
Yeah.
That was after my second hitch. I was leaving there, and that plywood sign was up.
Yeah. I remember
it was up for years.
Yeah, it was there for a while. And then I don't know, they got a new mayor at Jacksonville. She said, hey, clean up your outside at least. Make it look decent.
The outside looks good now from the pictures I've seen.
Oh, you've been checking out pictures?
Yeah, somebody sent me a picture and said, you know this place? I'm like, no.
Zoom out. Oh, yeah. It's right there on where the river hits 17.
Yep.
So there's a bridge right there. So now across that way, there was a seafood restaurant where you could sit outside. I forgot the name. It was really good.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was good. We'd go in there and eat and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Thunderbirds went away. The Driftwood, you said it changed the name.
Oh, yeah. Now Platinum.
That time frame me and you were talking about when I got there and you were leaving.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything past Walmart. You know where the Walmart is?
Yeah.
That was where everything ended. And over my time, that place blew up and grew up around 24 up there and all that stuff. But crazy how much population. You know, the population of the Marines did not grow, but they started letting more people live off base sooner than just living it, because they tore down a lot of barracks.
You either had to be married or you had to be an NCO to live off base.
They started letting them live off base. They'd get 2 or 3 of them together and they'd get a room, get an apartment or whatever.
Yeah, and they wind up brown bagging it. You weren't doing that when I was in.
They started tearing down barracks when I was there because they were so nasty. Yeah. And they would just say, we're not going to rebuild them. Go let them live off the economy.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville loved it, so.
Of course they did.
You got real estate and everything else. So, all right, we're back to we're getting where we're really going to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to get into how evidence wins divorce and custody cases and when women kill their husbands. What do you think about that?
That's a good topic.
Now, we've seen it happen a lot where we get it every day. What's this evidence going to do to help me in my divorce case?
Right.
It's a no-fault state, 50-50 state, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up paying, $6,000 a month in alimony and losing most of their equity in their home.
Yeah. Whether it's 50-50 state, no fault state, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It helps you.
That 50-50 no fault stuff is the current assets.
Yes.
It doesn't account for future payouts.
That's right.
Many lawyers have told me that. And if you can prove that other person, it's your home trying to keep the family unit together, and they're out running around, partying, screwing around, it does not look good for them.
No, it does not.
Either way.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah. And you're probably going to get some leverage in your side.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, with custody is vital. You got to have, we had Josh Holcomb, the attorney, on here talking about the McClellan standard in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they did that McClellan standard is because people were just arbitrarily filing for custody modifications.
Right.
I'm mad at them, so I'm going to file a custody modification.
Right.
Now, before you can even file, you got to have a high standard. You got to say, well, we got evidence in our pocket. We're moving to another state. You got to have a big reason to be doing this.
They just file it just because they're mad. They want revenge.
And that slowed it down because the courts were getting overwhelmed. They're like, hey, it's just, we got to have a reason here instead of just, I'm mad at you or whatever. Now, some lawyers still try it because their client's mad.
Right.
But yeah, you got to have, we go out and find where people are having felons cohabitate with their children.
That's frowned upon.
They're drunk all the time, frowned upon. Heroin use, all those things, frowned upon. It puts the child in danger.
Yeah. Right? Who in their right mind would want to endanger their child to begin?
People that are on drugs or have mental problems. So I don't understand the whole thing. You know what? I know I can't have people over at my house when the kids are there spending the night. But they go even further. You know what? I'm going to get the worst person I can find. We found it where there were sex offenders staying over there.
Yeah.
Like, how ignorant are they?
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How stupid are these people?
Yeah.
And then they lose custody of their kids because they just want to be ignorant.
Yeah. Your kid should be your priority. And as any parent would, you should protect that child.
They can't give up their gangster lifestyle or whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? I'm going to be
I'm thugging.
I'm going to be a thug, or think I'm a biker gang guy or whatever.
Right.
We get those two. That's when evidence is important. Now, shifting topics here, Juice. I was reading these and I was like, I saw it on Court TV,
Oh my God, here we go.
That's a source for
Live and Tutuola, SVU. Yeah, go ahead.
Court TV, man. That's a prime source for academia.
It is.
I'm just kidding. It's not. It's entertaining, right?
It is.
I just saw this one, though. It came up across the screen. It said, Cory Richins. Now, she's got a weird spelling name. It's Kouri. That's her first name. Her last name is Richins, Richins. This is in Utah. Convicted March 16, 2026. So this just happened.
Right.
35-year-old mother of 3 and children's book author.
Oh, I remember this one.
Was convicted of aggravated murder plus forgery and insurance fraud in the death of her husband, Eric Richins. She allegedly spiked this cocktail with massive overdose of fentanyl, 5 times the lethal dose.
This is the one she had hidden insurance policies or something.
Oh, yeah. She had a lot of stuff. For it was $2 million. Big one.
That's a pretty penny.
So she opened him without his knowledge. So that means she had to forge his name, signature, and all that stuff. She made copies of his driver's license and sent it in like she was him. After his death, she wrote and published a children's book about coping with grief.
Mm-hmm.
Fentanyl, man. So she did it. She had to commit a lot of crimes. She had to go buy dope, and then she murdered a guy. But before that, she forged everything, and
forgery, insurance, fraud, pick something.
Yeah. She got the jury deliberated for 3 hours. They had her dead to rights kind of thing. I didn't see where she pled not guilty.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they were trying to say that they couldn't prove that she's the one who put the fentanyl in there. That he did it before he came home kind of thing.
Of course.
But he had never had a drug problem. So
yeah, he did it all on his own.
He just stepped out one night and said, I'm going to put some fentanyl on my body.
I'm going to show her. I'm going to set her up.
Yeah. Aggravated murder, all the extenuating circumstances, 25 years to life. So, I don't know.
Well, good for her.
Then we got Sarah Hartsfield in Texas, convicted in October 2025, and she was sentenced in 2026 in the insulin overdose death of her 5th husband. 5. 5th.
Not 4?
5th husband.
Huh. That's odd. I wonder what the common denominator in those relationships was.
The guy's a diabetic already. Okay. I've got some experience with diabetes. Prosecutors allege she deliberately injected him with insulin and delayed calling 911. She had a history of multiple marriages. So if you overdose somebody with insulin, they go into a sugar crash.
Yes.
Body, brain, everything starts shutting down.
We had one here.
We had the former private investigator.
No, a former nurse.
Well, tell me your story and I'll tell you mine.
She injected her father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Father-in-law. Remember?
Yep. It was in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She's in jail.
Oh, yeah.
She's in at Tutwiler. Tutwiler's a women's prison in Alabama, if you don't know what it is. For people.
And she was still doing stuff in the jail.
Mm-hmm. Right. We had in 2018 or so, maybe 2017, you had the private investigator in Huntsville, whose wife was a nurse, injected him with and overdosed him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He thought he was having heart issues. And like, man, because he would have that, like, I'm passing out feeling. And then he went to the doctor. They're like, you may be. They didn't know. And then she got him with the right dose one night. And he died.
Yeah.
So. And that went on for a while. That trial, they kept delaying for like 5 years. But they finally got her last year. She's in prison now. So, yeah, that's dangerous to overdose somebody with insulin.
Oh, absolutely.
We got a child that's type 1 diabetic. And when her machine gives her too much insulin, she's got to start eating right away. It makes them fall asleep, basically, and they don't wake up,
Yeah.
They get dizzy and they fall over. There's been instances where cops thought somebody was drinking and driving where it was actually an insulin over. They had too much insulin.
Oh, yeah.
So, because you act like a drunk person until you pass out.
I had one here when I was policing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what it was. She was having a diabetic issue.
It's recommended when you start driving that you wear a diabetic tag. That way the cops will be like, okay, we got something besides.
Yeah, she had her bracelet on.
Yeah, something to let them know that they're not drunk. Most type 1 diabetics if they do drink, it kills them. They can't drink alcohol anyways, so it'll kill them because they can't keep up with the sugar. They go the other way. They go the sugar, the ketoacidosis the other way.
Right.
So anyway, she overdosed a guy. Then we got down in your neck of the woods, Susan Erica Avalon. He's a killing 2 ex-husbands. Getting after it on the same day in separate counties.
Oh, that's the one in Tampa.
She's more like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Let's read the article. I'm going to pull the article up.
Yeah, she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Florida woman is being accused of killing 2 of her ex-husbands in separate incidents across different counties the same day.
Yeah.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office reported that the woman identified as Susan Avalon, age 51, that's my age, allegedly committed these acts on Wednesday. This is a while back. Sheriff Rick Wells described the case as incredibly layered. Imagine so. Officials said the events began around 3 p.m. when deputies were called to the home in Chatham Light Run. I guess that's a neighborhood.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They reported finding a man suffering from a gunshot wound. In question about the shooter, the victim allegedly suggested it might be his ex-wife. He later died. It's a shame, man. Meanwhile, officials said that the Tampa Police Department was already alerted by Manatee to conduct a welfare check at a residence on East Frierson Avenue. This is over in the city in Tampa. Inside, they found another ex-husband of Avalon who had also been shot and killed, according to officials. She went on a rampage.
Oh, yeah. She was a little upset that day.
And these are nice neighborhoods, too. She just drove up.
Oh, yeah.
Said, hey, dude, I need to talk to you. Pow. Killed him. DRT.
Yeah.
What do you think of her?
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Somebody's going to pen pal her.
I don't know what her sentence is, but I'm sure it's a while.
Oh, guaranteed. She's going to have pen pals.
Okay. Now you got this one going on now. This one's interesting. This is a postpartum depression. She didn't kill her husband, but she killed her kids.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Postpartum's a real thing, man.
It is.
They got, you got a chemical issues going on, all kind of things. This lady's Lindsay Clancy. I saw her get rolled over in the courtroom the other day. She's in a wheelchair. She's a mother from Duxbury, Massachusetts. Now, the Massachusetts people are going to say, you didn't say it right, because they say they don't say it how it's spelled.
No.
Get with it, man. Come on. January 24, 2023, Lindsay Clancy, she was 32 or 33 at the time, is accused of strangling her 3 young children to death in her family home with a exercise band, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 7-month-old. All right. And then she jumped out the window, tried to kill herself. It didn't kill her, made her a quadriplegic.
Didn't she cut her wrist and then jump out the window?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was nuts. And a suicide attempt. She can't move anything other than her.
Yeah, sure. I think she's from the sternum down.
So,
she's paralyzed.
She's done. She can move her arms, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw him roll her across there. She pleaded not guilty on 3 counts of murder. She's going to plead that, postpartum depression, mental health issues. All right. Either way, she's going away. She's either going to go to the psych ward or she's going to be in the jail. And she's in the Tewksbury State Hospital. They've already got her in a mental health facility.
Oh, yeah. She's on suicide watch.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Currently scheduled for July 20th, 2026. So basically, a neighbor walked by. He's out doing a walk and saw her laying in the driveway. And, called the police, and they discovered all this. That'd be tough to walk in on that, man. Those kids. But her husband, Patrick, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against her medical providers, claiming failures in treating her postpartum mental health issues. So he's obviously, they try to get her help, and then they pass her down the line,
Yeah.
Sounds like the VA. Was she a veteran?
No, the VA put her on a wait list until she dropped dead.
No, they'll give you a handful of drugs to take.
Oh, of course they will.
They'll let you try something.
But that's their ignore.
So last year, in the beginning of the year, I went to the VA and said, hey, my medication you give me for my things aren't working. They're kind of wearing off. Your body gets used to it.
Oh, yeah.
But they gave me some stuff. It drove me nuts. I was hearing things.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be taking them.
My legs were moving in the middle of the night like I was trying to run.
Yeah, no.
I had to go back and say, hey, this ain't working. So they fixed it. You know what I mean? But it was awful.
Like I was just imagine your wife sitting there looking at you going, you better go back to the VA.
Yeah, we did. We got it going. Anyway, uncontrolled leg movement was one of the things. I was like,
that's crazy,
dude. Ridiculous. I'd hear things like, it sounded just like somebody knocking on the window. Yeah. I was like, who's out there? My wife's like, nobody's there. I got to get off this stuff.
Yeah, we're not doing this.
And when you stop taking it, it doesn't go away immediately. You got to wear off, right? So it's a few more days. At least I recognized it was the pills. Some people don't. They're like, oh, this is real.
Oh, that real. Paranoia sets in.
This is real, But anyway, sounds like some of these guys could have used some evidence against these women.
Yeah.
But we hit on the evidence in divorce a little bit, but then we got in these women, got off on a tangent about women killing their husbands.
Yeah.
And the crazy lady jumping out the window.
Yeah. It was always hard for me because, I lost a son.
Yeah. Remember that.
It's always hard for me to go into a situation where kids are involved.
Mm-hmm.
It either breaks my heart or it makes me so mad that I could lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be hard to control yourself, when you walk in on that. So I would say it was good that she was removed from the scene, probably.
Yeah.
She removed herself. So because it doesn't go well.
No.
Yeah. All right, that's all we got, Juice. Getting out of here.
Man,
you going to bed?
We should stay and do more.
We can if you want.
No, I'm going to bed.
Go to bed. We'll come back next week or when you get your car fixed or whatever.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll be back soon. Bye.